Hey, what's up everyone? This is the RC Nerd. In this video, I'm going to be doing some work on my Traxxas Stampede, and not much of it. It pretty much needs a radio and a wash, and maybe a gearing change. This is a Stampede vxl 5 model that has been upgraded with a Valenian ESCN motor, and even has a 2075 servo. So I paid. I think this one was $170 actually, so pretty good deal I think, considering that it looks like it just needs a radio. It did say it came with the Traxxas Link receiver. I'm going to go ahead and put the HSP radio into the Stampede. I was going to use it in the Bandit, but seeing as how this truck is more complete, I might as well finish this one first, so I can always get another radio for the Bandit as well. So let's go ahead and pop open this receiver box. And there you go, that's the old receiver. I don't know if it's really worth buying the radio that's meant to link with this. Probably not. Like, honestly, you get a basic radio for a lot cheaper. It seems like the used ones were kind of pricey, but maybe I'll sell off the receivers, because chances are somebody might be able to use them if they already have the old school Traxxas TQI Link, whatever. But let's go ahead and throw in our other receiver. It looks like the seal's actually pretty beat up here. See how it's all discolored and stuff? It's kind of weird. Alright, let me get the other receiver. Actually, I think I'm going to use this radio instead. I'm not entirely sure if it's perfectly reliable, but I also think that it might be because of the battery, so I'm going to change those out, and then we're going to get all of that hooked up, calibrated, and hopefully the truck will be drivable. Now, it is running 1690 gearing. That is the stock gearing for a Stampede vxl 5, which is the brushed motor. This has been upgraded to a VXL brushless motor, so the 1690 gearing should be way too short for this truck. It's definitely going to need some taller gearing to really make use of the Valenian power. However, it should drive, and it's probably going to drive about like an XL5 would. You know, 25 mile an hour. Tons of torque. But, you know, this is just going to be a quick test drive. Alright, there we go. There's better batteries in there. Let's get our receiver plugged in. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the top of the box. We don't need that at the moment. What we need to do is plug our servo. It's going to go into channel 1. There we go. And then the ESC into channel 2. And then I should have put the top of the receiver box back on. Let's go something like this for now. Cool. Yeah, I think this will be good enough. Let's go ahead and grab a battery. Well, of course, this couldn't go perfectly. As it turns out, you can see on the chassis that there's these sort of extrusions in the way. I'm not sure what you would call them, but those are designed for holding a nickel metal hydride battery pack. The problem with them is that since they're made for a nickel metal hydride, which is round, and the LiPo batteries that we want to run are square or rectangular, it won't fit. Basically, it doesn't leave you enough room. It kind of pushes the whole battery up in the compartment, and it gets caught under the ESC plate. And well, you could either replace the chassis, or what I'm probably going to do is just grind them out, because it's pretty simple to do. Annoying, but simple. The other thing that I just noticed, I'm not sure how big a deal this is going to be. I don't know if you can see in this port, on the Valenian ESC, but it looks like there's some weird stuff in there, like some sort of red grease or something. I don't know how or why, but we're gonna have to get that out of there. Well, let me see. I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull out the ESC. So let's unplug the motor real quick, and then we'll pull the ESC up and see if we can find out what's going on. Alright, let's take a look at this guy. Looks like those are 2.0. I want to open it up and see if there's anything fishy going on inside of it. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just somebody was putting grease on the truck and maybe got some in the port by accident or something stupid like that. That'd be ideal. What would really be ideal is if it wasn't there in the first place, I guess, but you know. Weird, it looks like there's some of it on the bottom too. There's whatever this guy is, which is kind of been pushed out of the way for some reason. Some sort of a sticker, I guess, or a heat shield maybe. Make sure that's sitting properly. I guess I'm just going to get a Q-tip and some alcohol and clean that up as much as I can. Alright, well, ESC cleaned up pretty nicely. Ended up using a toothpick to clean out the port because a Q-tip was just not small enough. Still a little bit of stuff in there, but not nearly as much, so it's a lot better. Wiped down the ESC, cleaned out the heatsink. Actually found that the blue wire here was damaged, so I just put a little piece of heat shrink over it to cover it back up. So it should be good to go. I think that the ESC will be just fine. Now we have to continue on with, of course, the chassis modifications. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the receiver box out. So we're going to take out these two screws, and there's actually 4 Phillips head screws in there that need to come out. Alright, now we're ready to take these notches out, and to do that, I've decided I've just got a Dremel here with a utility grinding bit, and I'm just going to have at it. Alright, that's been ground out pretty well. So now we can just go ahead and go in with a file or a piece of sandpaper and kind of finish it off. Maybe do some more touch up with the Dremel. I'm going to use sandpaper because I have it handy, but I'm going to be right back once that's cleaned up. Alright, there we go. Chassis is cleaned up. It's kind of what it looks like. I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but nor did anyone ever expect it to be. Go ahead and just start mounting things back up here. There we go. And now, let me give the motor wires. We're going to double check the motor wires really quick, see if there's anything wrong with them, like on the ESC was. I don't think so. Nah, they look fine. And we're actually going to go ahead and route them through the shock tower this time. For some reason, the previous owner had it just plugged in up here in between the body mounts. But you can see here that there's a hole in the shock tower, and these wires are actually supposed to go through that hole in the shock tower. It just offers a little bit better protection for the wires, so I think it's worth doing. Go ahead and feed all of them first. And the second one. And then there's the blue wire. And then, of course, they plug into the same colors on the ESC. So blue to blue. I'm going to put yellow to yellow. Although I'm going to put it in the right side of the wire. There we go. And white to white. Okay. Somewhat neat. Now, we should be able to finally put in a battery and see if this sucker works. There we go. Slides right in. Look at that. Alright, let's plug in the truck and begin calibrating. We actually need to turn on the radio first. That's on. And I showed this with my Stampede vxl, but I'll show it again, I suppose. I'm going to turn on the ESC until the light turns red. See, the light's red now, so let go of the button. Then on the transmitter, we are going to, let me see if I can find the ESC for you. Oh, the light turned off. That's a problem. I think I may have bumped something by accident. Let's try it again. Turn it on until the light turns red. Alright, let go. It's going to flash once. Pull the trigger all the way. Flashes twice. Full reverse. And then it starts blinking green, and it should be all set. Nice. I can tell you right now, those bushings are useless. The other thing I want to do real quick is go ahead and make sure that the ESC is in the proper running mode. It seems like it is, but we'll double check just in case. So we're going to hold it down. Well, we're going to turn it on and hold down the button until the light blinks red once, and that means that it is in sport mode. Now the other thing is, since the light is red and we're running LiPo, we need to change that to, we need to make the light green for low voltage cutoff. So I'm going to press and hold the button until the light turns green, and the motor should make a tone. There you go. And you can see the light's green now. So LVC is enabled. And let's check our steering. Beautiful. A little off center, but it's working. It may need to be trimmed. We'll see. I think we're ready for a test run. Let's go try it out. Alright, here we go. To start off with a couple of speed passes. Oh yeah, it definitely needs to be trimmed out. Trying to pull way to the right. 1 second. Yeah, that's better. And the steering's actually pretty responsive on this truck. Alright. Alright. I have to say, even like this, even without the even with the really short gearing, this truck's got a ton of torque and speed, and it's just a ton of fun. Alright, there's something weird going on there. I don't know why it's steering. I don't know if it's just because I'm like steering with my chin, or if this thing's doing weird stuff on its own. Hold on, let me do some testing. Alright, check this out. If I barely touch the steering wheel, I know you can't see the radio, but see how the steering's jerking back and forth? That's not me doing that, that's the radio. Alright, here's a better visual of the steering issue I was having, which I believe is with the radio. If you watch, if I turn to the left, no problems. Turns all the way just fine. You see that? I didn't even do that. If I barely turn to the right, look at this. I mean, you see how little I'm touching the wheel, right? Yeah, we're gonna have to do a new radio. Unfortunately, I don't have one. I mean, I have one for my Stampede vxl, but I don't feel like tearing that up right now. I guess I could steal one from any of my other RCs, but again, I don't want to tear those up right this minute. So, I guess for now, I'm just gonna have to ignore the problem, work around it. I am going to change the gearing though real quick. And also, I want to double check my slipper clutch adjustment to make sure that is not over tightened. I forgot to check that. It's probably fine, but it's always good to play it safe. So, let's go ahead and get this wheel off so we can get some work done over here. All right, with that guy removed, I guess we'll start with the, ooh, the motor's actually a little bit warm. Surprising. Let's go ahead and tighten down this nut all the way, which wasn't far from it. I'd say that was only probably loosened by like a quarter turn. I want to loosen it about half a turn. Perfect. And that should keep it from stripping out the spur gear or, you know, breaking drive shafts as easily. They are stock drive shafts, it looks like, so if anyone wants to run it hard, it's definitely going to need new drive shafts first, but well, I'm not going to mess with it because they do still work as they are. And go ahead and loosen up the motor screws. Looks like they are the really nice Valenian motor mount screws. Grab this pinion gear off as soon as I find the 1.5 I need. Here we go. I think this 23 tooth pinion gear will be just fine. Maybe a little on the tall side, so we'll keep an eye on temps, but hopefully it'll be fine. Just gonna go ahead and slide that on. Line it up so that it's straight with the spur gear, so that all of the teeth make full contact. And then we just screw down the pinion, or the grub screw, I mean, and then we can mesh the gears. And then to mesh the gears, I like to just push the motor in pretty much all the way, and then ease up on pressure just a little bit, so it's not forcing the gears to push together. It's just the gears are together. Let's see. There's very, very little to no play in these gears, which is just how I like it. It makes the spur gear last longer when you do it this way. A lot of people like to either just mesh it so that it has a space in it, so that it clicks a little bit, or they'll use the Traxxas method of putting a small piece of paper in the gear. I find that my way makes the gears last a little bit longer, less likely to strip them, because it's got more surface area for each of the teeth. But we're going to go ahead and put the wheel back on now and go try it out like this, because I'm quite curious to see how much more powerful this is going to be now that it's geared more appropriately. Not going to say it's appropriate yet, because it probably should be more like a 21 tooth pinion gear, but I don't know, I'm curious, we'll see. Alright, let's see how fast it is now. Whoa, that's a lot faster. Oh, that's insane. Alright, this thing's powerful now, apparently. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and run it around for probably like 1 or 2 battery packs. Monitor ESC, motor temps, make sure everything's running nicely, make sure it's reliable, doing everything it should be. Aside from the radio, of course, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, I have a new complaint. This drive shaft, completely stuck. I mean, besides it being popped out, of course. I have a feeling it popped out partially because it's completely stuck, and also because they're just not, you know, durable drive shafts. You can see on the left side here, when the suspension moves, the drive shaft actually slides in and out a little bit. And that's good. That's what's supposed to happen. However, on this side, if the drive shaft is so badly seized together, it's not going to be able to slide like that, so it's just going to pull on the ends of it instead, and probably why this pulled out. So I can either try and get that out, which you can see is not working out very well, or I could replace both of the half shafts. But I think I'm going to try and get this apart if I can. But just, yeah, a little weird issue I had. Should be easy fix either way. We have parts. Well, I got the drive shaft apart, and I think I know what happened. I ended up noticing, hopefully it'll kind of show on camera, it's probably kind of hard to see, but this drive shaft at the end is actually a bit tapered. It's no longer usable, but what I think has happened is that these drive shafts, these splines only line up a certain way, so you have to slide them in whatever way they fit. I think what happened is someone didn't realize that, and they put it in the wrong way, and they forced it in. You can see this doesn't want to go in. I think they forced it in like this and actually damaged the drive shaft and caused it to get completely stuck together, which is sucks. It would have been a good drive shaft otherwise. But like I said, I have a ton of spares, so I picked this one out. We do need to transfer over the stub axle and of course put our output yoke back on. It's kind of tricky to do those things, but they will go back on. I find that needle nose pliers is the best method for that, so let's get that done. Alright, well, I'm not gonna lie guys, it's been a minute since I've worked on this truck, so forgive me if this is a bit incoherent at all, but just looks like I left off messing with the drive shafts, and just to let you know, those are back on, and the truck is put back together, so that should be working just fine. I did order a few parts for this truck. You can see it's wearing a body now, although it's just an old beat up body. So one part I have coming is actually a new body for the truck, so I'll keep it looking nice and clean and should increase the value of the truck overall. I found this little piece right here, the battery tie down. I actually bought an STRC one for this truck. I would have got a stock one, but it was like $2 or $3 more for the STRC green aluminum, so I was like, might as well have the nicer one that would match. But after I received that, I went and did some cleaning up in my room. Ended up finding the correct Traxxas Stampede battery tie down that you'd normally get. So I decided the STRC one will go on my personal Stampede, and this one will have the nice, clean looking regular part. So the next thing I want to worry about is, actually I'm going to go ahead and take out this receiver, which I guess I kind of left it loose. And I think I'm actually going to take off this receiver box. The seal on it looks a little bit rough, to say the least. And I did order a couple of new receiver boxes. And this receiver's junk, by the way. Well, it's either the receiver or the remote. I don't care to find out which one. I'm going to remove this receiver box because I do have a brand new one here, which is in much better condition. And the old one, I'll just keep it as a spare, whatever my needs may be. But I actually want to go ahead and take that off. I want to get the tires off, and I want to get this truck washed up because it is pretty filthy, actually. And then the only other thing I had for it is the gear cover. So that will, when I get a chance, get reinstalled properly. I have new body mounts on the way with the new body, so hopefully these won't be getting in the way or being an issue at all. So that would it would really help out. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this truck cleaned up and pick back up from there. Alright guys, well as you can see, the truck has been cleaned up quite nicely. Looks a whole heck of a lot better than what it used to. So that's just pretty much just dish soap and water and a few other things like a paint pen for the tires and some of the details, making it look really nice. So that's all been cleaned up, and now I want to go ahead and get the new receiver box installed. That's right, I bought a new receiver box, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in. I've already removed the old receiver box, because we didn't need it anymore. But basically we're just going to go ahead and take and loosen up these screws on the chassis, put this receiver box on, and then pop open the receiver box, put in the new receiver, and button everything back up. Okay, the receiver's in, but before we actually button everything back up, I need to bind up the receiver to my transmitter. I'm going to be using this Red Cat Racing transmitter that used to go on my personal Stampede, but I upgraded to one transmitter for all my trucks, so now I don't need this. So we're going to go ahead and bind this up. And in order to do that, you have to use a bind plug. You're going to plug that into your channel 3 on the FlySky receiver. Yes, that's right, I'm using a FlySky receiver with the Red Cat Racing radio. Why? Because this is actually a FlySky rebrand, so it will actually work. It's fully compatible. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the battery to the ESC, and then we're going to go ahead and we want to turn on the transmitter. We need to press bind. So we're going to put the bind key from the receiver and try to push down the bind button while turning on the transmitter. There we go. Transmitter's on. And then turn on the ESC with the receiver plugged in. And I believe as soon as it goes solid red, usually it will flash red, but you can see now it's already turned solid red. So I believe we should be fine. So unplug the ESC, turn off the transmitter, take our bind plug out, and then we can turn it back on. Got to plug this back in first. And then, there you go. Perfect. So, that's working. This servo's really fast. Since when were 2075 servos this fast, guys? I don't remember them being that fast, but that's pretty quick and responsive, honestly. Okay, so we're done with this, so I'm going to go ahead and button the receiver box back up and go ahead and put on the antenna tube because that'll look nice. So let me do that real quick. Okay, the receiver box is put back together, and now we just have to calibrate the ESC, which should be pretty easy. First, I'm actually going to have to turn on the transmitter, and hopefully we can get this to where you can see it. We're going to turn on the ESC while holding the. We're going to hold down the button with the ESC turned off. And we're going to hold it down and wait for the light to turn red, like so. We let go, and then it's going to blink once. There you go. We're going to pull down the trigger all the way to full speed, and then it blinks twice, and we can go to full reverse, and it's blinking green, so we can let go. And now the ESC should be calibrated correctly to the transmitter. Let's take a look. So we have forward. And I believe I may have this ESC in training mode. So what we have to do now is, I think that turns it off. So we want the ESC off again. And then we're going to hold down the button until the red light flashes once. There we go, let go. And now we should be in training mode. Or not training mode, sport mode. Perfect. That is good. That is exactly what this truck is supposed to do. The truck is now programmed, it's set up, and it's ready to go. So, that's about it. All I need now is a body, which I'm still waiting on. So we're going to get the body, we're going to set that up on here. There's one more thing I just thought of that I can actually do. And I actually ordered up a new set of body mounts that will work on this truck. And all we have to do is screw it onto the shock tower, and that will allow us to use our new body when it comes in. Well, I keep thinking of things that I need to do still, apparently, like fix the bent caster block. I can't tell if the caster block's actually damaged at all. I don't know. It almost looks like it might be starting to crack, but more so the stupid kingpin is bent. So I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't even think I have a spare for that, so I'm just gonna have to straighten it back out. All right, well, that caster block was indeed starting to crack through, and it was actually just bent really badly, so I did replace it. I was able to straighten out the pin. This is off of my personal Stampede. I just had a spare set of these laying around, so that was pretty quick and easy to swap on. Once I straightened out the pin, just stole one of the E-clips from the steering kingpin off my old Stampede as well. And that is perfect. And there's one more thing to do real quick. Again, still waiting on the body, so that's on its way. But I did get something else. Gear covers. So that takes very little time to install. We're just going to have to take off the tire and screw it on. The longer screw goes up top and the shorter one on bottom. Also looks like we'll just have to push in the little rubber plug for it. Well, gear cover's installed. Looks fine. And now, there's one more thing to do on this truck, and we should be done. And that is to put on the new body. Check that out. You may recognize this body if you've seen my own Stampede build. You'll realize that I've used this body before. It's a El Cheapo, some sort of like Monster Energy body or something like that. Just I think it might even be a PVC, but it might not be PVC, but I think like thin Lexan. They're inexpensive. They're like $20 each compared to what would normally cost like $35. But they pretty much work, and sometimes they last a long time, sometimes they don't. It's kind of whatever with that. But you know what? It's a body. It does look nice, and it will work just fine to get the next to get my new Stampede owner started. I do need to adjust the body mounts, as you can see. It looks like the front ones need to go up a ways, or the rear ones need to come down a ways. One or the other. I'm not sure which. Probably I'm going to lift the front body post. I think that makes more sense. Let me just go ahead and do that real quick. It's only like one screw for each body post. And there we go. Now it's looking pretty good. The front body mounts were having an issue. I think this piece is actually a little bit twisted on the right side there. You can see it's, you might be able to see that it's a little bit sort of twisted back, maybe. Yeah, that shows it pretty well. So yeah, the problem was the body mount was sitting further back here, and it was making it kind of tough to get the body on properly. Luckily, I did have a replacement for this piece. When I bought the rear body mounts, along with those shock towers, got all of it for like $7. So I went ahead and just replaced this with a new one. I'm just going to throw this one away. It also did include all the hardware, so I do have some of these extra screw pins that would be used for mounting the body mounts. I'm screwing them down, and then this for the rear goes in the back of the shock tower. The body mounts in there are actually on the third to highest setting, and I think that's gets the body just about level, just about right. I like it like that. Maybe the new owner will want it different, but who knows. But yeah, that is the truck complete. I'm going to list it just like this. Did include a sticker sheet for the body, so I'm not going to put any of them on. I'll let the customer decorate that however they feel like doing it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the truck. It looks pretty nice, and I mean, it's pretty much bone stock, so it's not like it's super exciting, I guess, but you know, it'll be great for somebody. It should work just fine. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and maybe subscribe if you want to see more, because you know, there's more of this kind of stuff coming along. I think I already mentioned that I have another Stampede coming on the way, and this one's going to be a little bit different, so I'm hoping that'll be in very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.